Good morning. Welcome to Retro Toy Princess, everyone. I am Allison Troy, and it's Sunday, and the weather where I am is still cold and gross, but we haven't had any power outages, so fingers crossed. Say a prayer to the attorney and gods that we get through this live stream without any brownouts. Everyone's snicker now at brownout. But if so, Kayla and Johnny are here, and they will be able to keep the show going until I can get back in. So, all right. Speaking of Johnny.
Hello.
And Kayla.
What up? Oh, wait. Yes. I can do it now.
Yeah, there you are. Laser light.
My little co-host is right here, just off camera.
Right.
My other co-host.
Cats.
You've been replaced, Johnny.
All right, really quick.
It was a good run.
Well, it's hard to compete with that sort of cuteness, Johnny.
Yeah, you are pretty cute.
And we didn't find Johnny somebody to bounce uglies with before you got replaced by a puppy. Sorry, Johnny, we tried. Which, just before we get sort of started, Johnny is single, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know what Johnny's preference are. We're not going to ask him because let's keep it lively. If you're interested in Johnny and you know how to find him, send him a discreet but respectful offer. And
slide into the DMs.
Yeah, keep in mind, Kayla and I will get to see it because he will show us and we will then vet you. So if you're a creeper, you're out. And remember,
I love how you always do.
Yeah, Kayla and Allison have very specific creeper criteria. So if you like Moby, you're out instantly. No Moby. No. Right, we're gonna say hi to the chat really quick. Brennan, good morning, Brennan. Yep, exactly. I'm excited for Andra as well, or Andra. I'm gonna say Andra just because I go with the Star Wars pronunciation of everything a little extra fancy. Good morning, Oz. I know Oz is over with Ken at Toy Connections, celebrating Ken's 5,000 subscribers. Congratulations, Ken. We'll see Oz in chat, I'm sure, when that wraps up. Good morning, Thanos Copter. Great to see you. I need to have Thanos on here soon. Look, it's Johnny in the chat. And it's Kayla. Speaking of smacking that like, I need to smack my own like. Woot. Let's see. And good morning, Derek. Hello. Or as he's incognito, yesterday's podcast, which is a great podcast you should all go listen to. All right. I almost clicked end stream. It's that kind of morning. Sorry.
Oh, boy.
Well, I went to because, comments are on one place and I'm like, let me switch around. And then I'm like, wait, no, that's end stream. I don't need to switch anything. I just need to get focused. All right. So I am.
Thanos just finished Friday's episode and recreated the page.
I'm going to put my page on. And that's where we'll start with. What are you coloring with, Kayla? Right as she's
I'm coloring with everything, as usual. Me and Johnny have the same pack, as we've realized.
Nice.
Kind of weird. Because I've had this forever. Colored pencils, super tips, just the tips markers. It's like a massive pack of them.
Oh my goodness. I'm envious of that. I need to get some markers.
And then, once again, I've had these, I think I must have gotten them in college, yet they're still okay.
Nice.
10 years later.
These are
these little guys I got a while ago. And then my favorites, my gel pens I have in this very cool mineral pack that I have. Sparkly and jelly alike.
I'm not going to use them today, but I got these scented. I wonder what I would get scented glitter gel pens for. It is a mystery with the kind of content that I make. Whatever could this strawberry one be used for? Anyway.
I don't know.
I don't know. It is a mystery wrapped in an enigma, and it's a very, very big mystery. Anyway, I'm coloring with. I decided today I'm going to try. I bought these because I am a you know how well most of you are on the not the Geek Dad Life Discord. We need to get you guys a Discord. On Geek
It's a
Dad
little
Life
early for that, but
Discord,
maybe
and
someday.
the way
I mean,
I am
I
about
think it's too early. I think
yeah.
it's too early for like a Patreon or anything like that. But I feel like
But
Discord would be okay.
you can you can start a Discord with just like a basic channel, and then add channels when it's time to monetize stuff. But anyway, I buy all the pencils that come eventually. So I have these Amazon Basics. They allegedly are really good. I don't know. I bought them about a year. No, not quite. A little less than a year ago. I have tried them out mainly just to swatch them. And I tried them out in surprisingly a coloring book that was very, very fun. That might be part of why I have the smelly gel pens. And they worked okay in that. Paper on the type of coloring book we have is sometimes not friendly to the tools I use because there's a reason I use the fancy snooty art paper I do. But anyway, I'm gonna try those today. Because why not? And because again, this is a commercially available adult coloring book. Sometimes the paper they use isn't it's not as friendly to all the layering stuff that I like to do. So hopefully these will do. But in the meantime, and I am gonna put my little sleeve on because I've got cat wounds this week. My eczema cleared up, but the cat attacked.
Oh no,
so
not the cat,
nobody needs to
not
see
the
a
pussy.
stabby hand. So, and I've got the nice hot pink one that I recently just got. So, anyway, so get that on. All right, I'm going to check chat really quick. It is Thanos and Derek saying hello. Derek, yesterday's podcast and I are probably going to have to do a pre-record because of his scheduling. But he and I he'll be on an episode eventually of this. So, and since he does all sorts of fun, I mean, like, could be Motu, but also because of the kind of stuff yesterday's covers, we might actually, get to do some fun stuff. So, it'll be fun hanging out with Derek either way. So, but yeah, it'll be cool. So, I'll set the tray aside, put the other one. I also have my action figures here for color reference. Because since I have not colored a lot of modern anything, I'm not as familiar with the color schemes. So, Tila.
I noticed. Yeah, I was telling Allison before we started. I rescued my part 1 Tila from the gelatinous cube.
Right.
She's not in there anymore, but I can't find my Andra figure. I don't know where she got to.
Yeah, I've got mine with. I've got like 4 of them because I've bought a couple that I've got Origins version of Andra that I'm about almost done. It just needs to be painted at this point, and it's done. I used like a Tila and a Eternian Goddess body because I want to originize her as if she came out in the 80s. So
I was so tempted when Andra was on clearance at Target for like $12. I was so tempted to buy multiples just to have like the one in the mask to like almost army build. But then I never did, and now they still have like pegs full of Andra figures at Target, but now they're back all up to full retail price.
Yeah,
which is weird.
Ew.
That is.
There's even some at my Target that have like the clearance sticker residue on the plastic windows, so like they pulled the clearance stickers off. It's so strange.
They're like, wait, it's coming back out. New episodes. I bet we could make more money with these. Target is so
bastards
sometimes.
And then I noticed going through this book, I think this book is all images from Revelation Part 1. Like, there's nothing from Revelation Part 2 in here.
Yeah, it's 100% spoiler free. Which is a choice. Not a bad choice. It makes. I mean, this also would have been done months and months you know, like they would have set this all up even just because of what production and printing times are. Also, as we go, I'm gonna swatch these pencils. I have this, and I've been meaning to swatch them, so we get to do all the things today.
Fun.
Hello,
I know. I'm
cat.
trying to
Leave
find.
my headphones alone.
Ooh, this is perfect. I just
I've
found the
got my-
perfect red for her hair. Because that's what I'm starting with, of course, is her hair.
Right, the red hair.
Mhm.
Hey,
Because, you know, redheads.
I've got a cat over here trying to attack my headsets that are on the phone, which is how we are. How you can see what my page is. So he's being extra.
Naughty
All right.
boy.
Yeah.
Naughty boy.
All right. So I'm gonna start with black, and I'm just gonna, like I said, swatch these out since two birds. One's not that I'm gonna use all these colors today, but here we go. Black.
Oh, here's regular red. Oh wait, didn't I find a sharpener here last time? Yes, I did.
So let's see. Yeah, so we cannot talk Revelations beyond.
No, part 2. I'm
no
watching
part
it
2.
after.
Which is great because this coloring book is actually pretty much just through part 2 for the most. I mean, just through part 1 for the most part. And there's nothing spoilery in here, which is too bad because there are a few things from part 2 that would have made great coloring pages. I mean, you've seen the Darkland figure, so obviously that.
I mean, I don't know why or how she.
Yeah, you don't know why or how.
Darkland. Yeah, and that's the thing is like I can see, unless it like gives away more than just how they look. Like just seeing characters look different isn't really gonna spoil me on anything. At least in my
I
mind.
think the way they did sort of this coloring book, they would have probably given it away and you know, just in the little things or whatever they have in here. So I'm just gonna do the sky in the back black. So these Amazon pencils are having a easier, and they're working a little bit better with this paper than my Prismacolor did. It was really hard not to just scan all of this book and then just convert it to my paper. But you know, because of what I do on the channel, I didn't actually expect I would do any content with this book. So I was like, I'll just color in it. And then I haven't colored in it at all. And then Johnny was like, hey, you know what would be cool when you have me and Kayla? Because, you know, that's been the plan for a while, was to have you both on together. And, you know, I haven't actually just had you and me yet, Kayla. You've only done Hangouts so far. We'll fix that soonish. We'll do a strawberry.
You and me?
Yeah,
like
I've had you on here with Muriel and with Andrew, but I haven't just had you on. Or it's
I
just
thought we
me
did.
hanging out. Nope. Muriel's been here the whole time. Well, I mean, not the whole time, but every episode.
I guess so. I thought we did one just us.
I thought, well, because of the storm sphere, my Five Below strawberry shortcake stuff is not here yet. And at the point it takes for everything to melt for FedEx to actually get here, we don't have. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to say that because that. Anyway, my local FedEx has had my strawberry shortcake stuff on their truck to deliver for over a week now. But because of the icy weather and how far out we are on the dude's route, they've not gotten here. So at this point, I might end up doing a live unboxing with it. If I do, I might ping you and say, hey, did you open all of your Rainbow Bright stuff yet?
Me?
Kayla? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I opened them up, put them on my random shelf of random things.
Nice.
Those were Five Below exclusives, weren't they?
Yeah, I ordered them from Five Below.
They keep popping back up. The problem with the strawberry shortcake ones is when they pop back up, it's the ones I already got. I'm missing. I don't care about any of the chasers where it's like translucent glitter plastic.
I do.
Well, if I find any of those, I will grab. I'll order some because you know you have to do the minimum.
Are they? I don't know if you can order those. I feel like you just have to find them, don't you?
Gotcha.
I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
They show out of
Someone
stock
correct
on the
me.
website, which means at one point you could order them through the website.
Oh, I didn't. They weren't on there when I ordered
The
them.
Rainbow Bright ones aren't. The Strawberry Shortcake ones are. So
Like the Chase ones, you could see those.
yeah, the Strawberry
Oh,
Shortcake ones you can.
okay. Yeah, I didn't see the Rainbow Bright ones.
So if any of the translucent ones pop up, because I stocked both of them. Rainbow Bright hasn't come back in stock. Is right. It was in stock for like 5 seconds one day, and literally in the time it took me to get logged in so that I could purchase them, they went out of stock. And which is a good sign for the loyal subjects. People want these toys. You need to make more and make them easily available.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I was trying to work around it. Yes.
Oh, you're live and tuning in? Are you a wizard?
Right.
I've done that. Don't tell Johnny.
I do that regularly. Like, that was, Friday night when we were streaming.
I don't actually watch anything else, but if I'm going on, it's only when I'm going on to smack our like button. Yeah. If I see someone else's live, I'll just say hey once in a while, and that's it.
I've got 2 or 3 windows pulled up when people so when everyone goes live at the same time, I can at least get them to view. And Friday there's one of my favorite people on Coloring Tube, Emily Illustrator, who actually is the one who made this swatch. She goes live, and she hasn't been live because she and her family recently moved, so she had to take like a month off so they could like pack and move. So she had her first live stream back Friday. So she starts a little bit, like about an hour before you guys. So I got to watch the first hour, but I left it up so that I could, say goodnight at the end of her stream, and I still missed it because they ended right in the middle of me getting up on my soapbox about something. So, and then
getting up on a soapbox, never.
Yeah, right. And then Payne was on with Michael from Toy Habit, so I wanted to have that up, and I still need to watch that in the replay. That will be what I do after we finish this when I get back to my editing bullshit.
Yeah.
And then I had Lawrence of Punk with Toys had his members a live stream Friday night, so I had that pulled up in the background.
By the way, we are not recording Sundered Veil today, so I don't have any hard out like I thought I might.
Oh,
you don't have anything hard.
That's not what I said.
Johnny is always hard.
I just cut off the last word. Silence.
Listen.
Hey.
No, Brennan, it's everyone, especially on the West Coast, because especially the Pacific Northwest, it's pretty like my Amazon stuff.
Ow!
I order regularly.
What more do you want?
Until next week sometime. It's not even shipping yet.
Oh no!
And that's because most of the distribution centers are not even at full. Because our roads it's really icy outside. Like I can't even walk and check the mail right now without snow boots and like extra things so I don't slip and slide again. I went to check the mail the other morning and slipped and luckily I rolled into some snow.
Oh my god, Alice.
But I had that moment, like my feet lit out. Come on, Jimmy, and I was like, I had that moment where I'm like, I'm getting old. Like this could kill me. Like in another.
I did her hair.
Take my hip out. So
that's the most important part. There wasn't quite like a maroon colored in the colored pencil, so I got the like closest thing because it is a little more maroony.
We're going to do some magenta for the sky because Eternia often has dark purple skies. And this says magenta, but it's really more of a dark violet purple-ish color. It's not quite what I would consider magenta. Amazon. It's a bit.
Amazon.
You basic bitch of pencil set.
Basic bitches.
But what I do on my nice fancy paper, this is actually swatching out pretty nicely. It goes to shimmery a little bit faster, but yeah. So.
What should I do next?
But if I go lightly, I'm getting pretty good
Tell us
color
how you
density.
feel.
So
Tell us how you really feel. Is this a good skin tone, or is this going to be too dark? Actually, she's pretty tan.
I should have. You mean Tila?
A little tan at least, yeah.
All right, let's see. So I only have the 50 set of the Crayola. If you were to do, there's a tan color. So if you were to do tan real light, and then put either the peach or the salmon over it, also fairly light, so that you get sort of a blending layer, you'd probably get really close to that tan color.
Yeah, this is just for the marker that I outline them with. So it's not as important as what I fill it in with colored pencil.
Yeah.
But still shouldn't be too dark, obviously. Yes, I hear you. What would you like? What do you want? Oh, look at him. He's literally ow. It hurts. What? Like I haven't given you all the attention this morning.
But now you're not. You're doing something.
Now you're not. So
that's how puppies are.
I'm never gonna get any coloring done.
The absolute worst.
The worst.
Yeah, I'm the worst. I was up all night with you because you couldn't figure out your shit.
You're the worst. You're like a potluck salad that has too much mayonnaise in it that's been left out for an hour. The worst. That level of the worst. First time I got food poisoning at a potluck, an office potluck, I made a mistake of eating that salad. And some wise person pulled me aside and they're like, do not eat that. No matter how good it looks. It's got mayonnaise in it. It's been sitting there for like an hour and a half. And I was like, oh, it's fine. It tastes fine. And then about 2 hours later.
That's tough.
But, I got... They never question you when there are certain reasons why you're in the bathroom for hours. Like,
don't paw me. No.
We need some admin time because we don't want to see you running across the office.
No. Not today, Satan. You'll be fine. I will give you all the pets after, I promise, okay?
Oh my goodness. Puppy.
He's like, please?
He's like, but now...
If I start coloring, I'm literally going to have a bruise from you there.
My goodness.
Okay, I think he's good.
Oh my gosh.
I say that, and then like 2 seconds later, he'll just be pawing me again.
That's too cute. All right, let me
you're cute, but you're needy.
So, Allison, do you have a favorite iteration of Tila? Like from Filmation or 2000X to one of the designs in this?
Well, obviously. I don't like 2000X. I enjoy parts of it. It felt a little too so there was this thing that happened in the 2000s where we tried to make everything super angsty. Thank you, Avril Lavigne.
Angst.
Although
I loved Avril Lavigne.
We all loved her, but in retrospect, could I make it any more obvious? She's like, so whatever. Anyway, she was a lyrical genius. Anyway, I still do. I do that girlfriend song at karaoke if I've had enough Long Islands in me. Because it's a fun song. But at the same time, there was a particular level of angst. Let's call it artificial angst. That a lot of
what
media,
was she actually angsty about?
Reboot. Yeah, right. Especially, so,
You're a famous artist.
right.
Life must be so rough. I shouldn't say that. She could have been going through shit.
Could have been.
Well, it's one of those things like it's the debut album problem. So many bands and musical artists spend like 15 to 20 years writing that first album before they make it big. And then they have like 2 to write their second one.
Well, and with Avril Lavigne, like if you listen to her, like one of her big things was they got her backstage at a Shania Twain concert. Damn, you make me feel like a woman. Anyway, although I will say, if you're a fan of Parks and Recs, one of the best all-time gags on Parks and Recs involves "Damn, you make me feel like a woman." It's the episode where I forget who Leslie is trapped with, but they're locked in the office overnight and trying to get out.
Oh, Ron Swanson.
Yeah, and they're trying to get the attention of like the cleaning dude, but he has his earbuds on, and then it cuts to him, and we can hear what he's listening to, and he's jamming out to "Damn, You Make Me Feel Like a Woman," and he's just the cleaning guy is just not who you would picture jamming out to that Shania Twain song. So it was a great piece of irony. That's how I finally appreciated that song by Shania Twain, by the way. Thank you, Leslie Knope and Parks and Rec. Little Sebastian, R.I.P. You live on forever.
Little Sebastian.
Anyway, I liked sort of the attempt at.
Wait, now I find a maroon? God damn it!
But I didn't like how angsty they sort of made it, and I felt it felt like they de-aged Tila a little bit too much. Like she felt, and I get like she's like 16 or whatever in it, so. That's what 16-year-old kids were like. But I just
how old is she in Revelation?
She's like 18 to 20, I would say.
What? Crazy.
So I didn't appreciate it as much. The toys didn't land for me. I was not at that point too. Like we had sort of, I thought anyway that we had learned our lesson from the Power of the Force, over articulated, buffed up. And those, and I know it sounds silly to say that about He-Man, but like, I didn't care much for the toys of 2000X.
Yeah, I remember seeing 2000X toys in the store while they were like main retail line during their original release, and being like, "Oh, that's cool. There's new He-Man figures." But these,
I've got Tila. She's literally in a box over there because I'm still working on my setup for behind me.
Did you say the She-Ra?
I mean the Tila. I don't have the She-Ra because it was an exclusive and it goes for a little bit too much.
I actually do. I do have the She-Ra. I got her before she like really exploded in price.
Yeah, like I was
talking
to her when she was like $20 or $30 on eBay, and I'm like, oh, just wait till next check. That's a lot to spend on, because in 2007, 2008, that was a lot for a toy. There wasn't vintage, and now it's a little bit more,
But that
I forgot to ask. I meant to ask that, and I forgot. But so is She-Ra not in Revelation at all?
She is not.
Okay.
She-Ra will not be in Revelations because of the way Mattel has split up the rights and sold the rights to two properties, which is why He-Man wasn't in the She-Ra and Princess of Power series on Netflix. So the rights are really weird. And this is, there are two reasons. So let's go ahead and talk about sort of the rights, because, it will come up, especially for people now that the Horde is showing, who will be expecting She-Ra. And, the next part or whatever that's coming out in a couple days. So originally She-Ra was developed at Mattel to just be a figure in the He-Man line. And originally she was going to be He-Man's girlfriend. And partly it was because Tila and Evelyn were really big selling figures, and they discovered a lot of girls were buying Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
So at some point during that process, the girls, the Barbie side of Mattel, were actually sort of already working on developing a girls' action line. They had Justine Danzer, who's a pretty epic lady in toys.
Domestic setting.
She worked at Kenner and helped develop Strawberry Shortcake stuff. She was one of the Strawberry Shortcake developer people. She designed a lot of the Glamour Gals toy line. She would go on to work at Playmates and develop some stuff. But they had her come in and do a lot of concept work for a girls' action line, which she called Nova. But had things like a Pegasus and the Crystal Tower, and she developed a bow and cowl. And then the girls department at Mattel decided, well, Tila sells really well. We should be doing an action doll. So they took She-Ra from the boys department and developed it as a separate toy line, which is fine because I don't think She-Ra, what makes She-Ra epic for me, what I love about the toy line would not have happened at the boys line. I like all the sparkly stuff. I think it's cool. So at that point, they were two separate properties. At the same time, Mattel was working with Filmation, and He-Man was already being canceled. So it's not like they canceled He-Man to do She-Ra, which some people think. They had already decided to cancel He-Man because Mattel got all of the cartoons that they wanted out of it. And so they said, hey, why don't we do the She-Ra show with you? So Filmation wasn't in there from day one, so they developed a lot more of the characters than they did for He-Man. So there is a lot more in She-Ra that was Filmation property. So that's why there are some characters who didn't really appear in the vintage toy line, because Mattel would have had to pay royalties even back then to Filmation to do those characters, and just wasn't. That's why we got Orko when we did, but we didn't get. And that's why the vintage Orko figure says copyright Filmation on the back of it. So let's fast forward to He-Man and She-Ra have been canceled. They're not on TV anymore. They're kind of a dead property that Mattel just sort of has. At that point, Mattel divided them up so that they were licensed as different properties and sold the rights. Well, I mean, not like sold. Mattel still owns He-Man and She-Ra, but the rights to them for other media, for like marketing, they're two separate properties completely. Which means if you were to do a cartoon, you can't cross the strings, as it were, because somebody else owns those rights.
Oh, that one's really dark, good, but it's hard because it's on gray, so it makes it look darker. I'm also, limited in colors. Also, real quick to what Brick said, I've actually been here before for a few streams. I was here. Well, I was in a different room here last night. This is just easier because it has a bigger desk.
Oh wait, hello, Brick. Hello, Nolan. We've got a Nolan. You guys, I was chattering and I missed Nolan. Nolan, we've arrived. We're officially a ToyTube channel. Indeed. Good morning, Alex. We were speaking of you earlier. I outed him again as Alex.
It's okay. I did that for someone else who I won't name again, and I was like, God damn it.
Yeah. I think I know which one you're talking about because
yeah, it's true. Exactly. Yeah, it is one of the better Mark Hamill sculpts, especially the Prince Adam. Now, Prince Adam from 2000X is one of the best Luke Skywalker figures we've ever gotten. So,
I was like, wait, what?
So I will say that is one thing I liked about 2000X was I did like the shrimpier Prince Adam. To me, that helped. One of the things as a kid I hated was it's literally just a different outfit. Because I even like Clark Kent with the glass.
There's also Johnny, but his face isn't on here.
What? Hi.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Johnny is here.
It's okay.
Morning, Maria. But yeah, like Tony is here.
Switching camera.
Ken must have ended his stream. Because all the people from the chat are showing up. Hello, good morning, everyone.
Okay, don't be creepy.
I don't begrudge. If I hit 5,000 subs at some point, I'm definitely going live, and I don't care who's online. It could be.
How you doing?
Yeah.
How you doing?
It would be
So yeah, the only 2000X figures I have that She-Ra and I have the Sorceress Staction because that 2000X Sorceress is one of my absolute favorite Sorceress designs.
Yeah, exactly, Brick. Yeah, like they wanted to do there are people the lack of She-Ra toys isn't because people there aren't companies interested and people won't buy it. It's because right now the rights are so screwy that like it's really hard to make toys if you're not Mattel.
Mattel did like two She-Ra and Catra like action doll kind of hybrid, and it was well after the show was over, and it was like a super limited release or something like that.
Yeah, they've done a few different. There was a doll line that came out during the show, but it was a Target exclusive. It was before the pandemic, and distribution was terrible. I only recently got there was a San Diego Comic-Con 2-pack of She-Ra and Shadow Weaver, which I recently got.
Are Andra's eyes
at a decent price because they showed up at the Mattel store.
They're purplish.
Yeah, I was gonna say they look purpley.
Yeah, she's got violet.
Okay, cool. I'm doing all the skin and hair first because that's always the hardest thing for me.
It's funny. I used to do all that first, and then I started doing shorts, and people stopped watching shorts after the hair and the skin.
I wonder why.
Yeah, it's funny. So then I do background to front, and it's just sort of worked out in my normal cut. Also, I've noticed when I'm doing stuff just for me, like all the adult pages I color, all of the adult coloring pages like I buy on Etsy and stuff. When I do the people first, I will stop coloring. I get bored and it takes forever to finish it. So, because I get bored.
I always I'm like, I do hardest part first, get to easiest part. Yeah. Tell us about it. I almost said your name. I can't say your name.
So,
Bassator.
Bassator. Yeah.
But yeah, so the She-Ra rights are screwy. It is possible with the Horde showing up, we might see Despera, which is
they already did a post about that.
But because of the way they created her, she was basically a way they can use Zadora, aka She-Ra's alter ego, without it being She-Ra, but skirts the rights issues. So it's just dumb.
Tricky.
Yeah, and it's super dumb because people want these things, and the only thing stopping us is corporations that own these things that can't.
They couldn't, they don't have enough money to buy it.
Well, they probably do. They just don't want to.
Yeah, it's one of those things they do, but there's not.
For certain characters, Mattel has to pay a royalty because of the film. They were created by Filmation. Filmation stuff is now owned by Universal. This is where some of the rumors about, other company, Mattel not owning Masters of the Universe anymore. A lot of those rumors come from people not understanding how the licensing stuff works and how sort of certain rights work and how all that plays. So Mattel owns all of these characters. It's just it's limited in what capacity they can use them based on licensing deals they have. It's like how Super 7 is doing certain G.I. Joes now that they couldn't do before because Hasbro has now determined they're not going to do them, so they will now license the rights. But depending on how that agreement is set up, Hasbro may not be able to go do O-rings for a year or two, so as to not undermine what Super 7 is doing. I would assume that Hasbro has sort of carte blanche to make whatever the F they want with G.I. Joe, but it's possible. Sometimes that's how a deal works. So depending on how all the She-Ra stuff is licensed out, it may be a year, 5-6 years, Mattel may be able to make whatever they want without it being an issue, which sucks for those of us who want these toys right now. So anyway.
Yeah.
Right, 101 with Allison.
Good to know. Yeah, because how does she normally fit in with everyone else?
She kind of doesn't, because the original so anyway, this can be the pilot episode for Allison Teaches Kayla about She-Ra, which we'll do.
Yeah,
we'll do here, and then we'll split those. When we start doing those, we'll split them up between my channel and your channel. But basically, Hordak the backstory is Hordak kidnapped Adora as a baby when she and Adam, they're twins, Luke and Leia. And Hordak
Adora is She-Ra?
Princess Adora, Prince Adam's sister is She-Ra.
And
Hordak kidnaps Adora. Well, he tries to kidnap both of the twins, but they stop him. They stop. I think it was Skeletor who was supposed to stop Adam. Skeletor at the time worked for Hordak in the backstory, so they were able to stop Skeletor before he escaped with Adam. But Hordak escaped to some unknown land with Adora. So she grew up on the alternate dimension of Etheria. Raised as a member of the Horde, basically brainwashed by Hordak and Shadow Weaver to think the Horde were good guys. And then one day, finally they find her. The sorceress sends Adam to Etheria to rescue his. It doesn't tell him exactly who she is, though. I don't.
Does he not know he has a?
He doesn't know he has a sister until the secret of the sword storyline.
Okay.
And sends her to Etheria. She goes to Etheria to help fight the Horde and find the person who's supposed to use this sword of protection. And it's a sister, Adora. She gets her memories back. She becomes a good guy. She instantly joins the rebellion and becomes the leader of the rebellion. And then she doesn't go back. They take her home. She gets to meet her parents. But she goes back to Etheria to help undo the wrongs that she did as a member of the Horde and to fight them and liberate Etheria. So that was how they had these separate things. So she, and she would visit sometimes. She would go back to Eternia, or He-Man, and somebody would, come during the Princess of Power show. They would go visit her. So even that last season, there was still some He-Man stuff happening. All right, so I've got all my clouds, and I've got the sky, and it's my Eternia colors, and I am doing the best with these pencils on this paper. And these pencils are doing better on sort of my thick cardstock paper. So if anyone here actually cares about the pencil-y side of it, if you're going to get this Masters of the Universe coloring book, I'm not going to recommend that you use these Amazon Basics on it, but if you use a thicker cardstock paper, these pencils should be fine.
Good to know.
So, obviously, I am not sponsored by Amazon or the paper company that makes the paper this book is in. So, the art is really good in it. So they have a good artist. There's some great pictures in here, definitely. And I'm going to do some more coloring in this. I'm doing a page with Black Phoenix, aka Alex, a buddy color on Instagram. And I've had better luck using Prismacolor with the paper, but it's still a little bit of a challenge. And I'm going to try some of the Crayola stuff later to see how that goes.
A Secret of the Sword was Kayla level innuendo in Elizabethan England. Yep. Right. I was thinking the same thing. Also, Hordak is a creepy groomer, aka Kingpin. If you know, you know. Yep, that's accurate.
Well, I mean, the early stories of Masters of the Universe, Skeletor was often trying to kidnap Teela to make her marry him. He was the guardian of Grayskull, and that was his key. Because the rumor was the guardian of Grayskull would marry the king of Grayskull, and that was Teela. And it was hinted to be He-Man. So, So yeah, there's been a Yucca out for a while.
Yeah. Yep.
That thankfully eventually went away. But I'm gonna sort of be addressing that in upcoming content a little bit. One of the old coloring books that I'm working on has a full story. Where Skeletor actually has her in a wedding dress. It does not explain how she gets into the wedding dress.
Of course not.
But yeah, so it'll be fun because I'm going to color that entire story, and I haven't figured out exactly how to release it yet. So it'll be good though.
Interesting.
That's one word for it. But yeah, so anyway, before I got just super distracted. Back to Johnny's question, my favorite Tila. I tend to prefer pre-filmation Tila from the mini comics, Wave 1 and Wave 2, where she was much more of a warrior woman. I don't necessarily care for the storylines where, well, I'm not going to talk about that because it plays into other stuff, but there are elements of early Tila, starting with the Wave 2 mini comics, that I think are kind of weird and stupid, but also sort of tie into Skeletor trying to marry the Guardian of Grayskull. So anyway, yeah, but I can't talk about that. It would actually give away some Revelation stuff that Kayla hasn't got to yet. So
okay,
that's why
we don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that's my favorite Tila, blonde or redhead. I like them both. As far as the early Tila, I like her when she was much more of a warrior woman. I don't fully, and this may sound sacrilegious to some people, but I don't fully enjoy her and Man at Arms being related. My favorite
Are they?
Well, he's her adopted father.
Okay, but like
she's always referred to him as father, and so, and that's not a thing, and that wasn't there in the original early comics. He wasn't her father, adopted or otherwise, in those early comics. She was just a warrior woman who lived on Eternia and rode a unicorn and kicked butt. So,
kick names. Safe.
Well, Charger, her unicorn Charger wasn't also always a unicorn. At one point, he was just a big giant golden horse.
We did talk about Tila's haircut, Brick. That was my first note for episode 2 because I was like, and in episode 1, I was like, Tila's a redhead. Yeah. Fuck. And then my first comment on episode 2 was, oh, that haircut though. Yeah. Also, as someone who's dyed their hair at
also, if I missed you earlier, Stanley, welcome. Nice to see you this morning. Stanley's Toy Channel. Definitely check him out. He's got good stuff. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll back because I did miss some comments. It's funny. I've gotten better about checking these when I do solo streams than whenever I'm sitting here talking. So I need to work on that. Okay.
They did a good job adapting the haircut to this figure.
Yeah, they did really good with these figures. They are nice adapting the actual look on the
it does look good.
Comic. So
it also gives me
the
Spider-Gwen vibes.
I was gonna say, love her.
I like the character. I hate the name Spider-Gwen. It's really dumb. I like when they're like, she's Ghost Spider. Oops, that's not Mountain. That's the staff. I'll fix that. I liked what is it, Ghost Spider?
Yeah, Ghost Spider.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy that. Spider-Gwen is just kind of, I mean, I guess, if the kids like it, good. If it gets them reading comics, but for us old people, it's just like,
I think it's part of it is because she also just goes by Spider-Woman, and there's like 4 different Spider-Women. So to differentiate which one you're talking about, people started saying Spider-Gwen, and then like there's the whole Gwenpool thing too that I don't really understand.
The Gwen what?
Well, it's easy.
The Gwen what?
Deadpool is very popular.
Gwenpool.
Buy Deadpool stuff, so if you make Deadpool, people will buy it.
Interesting.
But
I haven't heard of that.
My favorite Spider-Woman is still Jessica Drew.
Yes.
Although as a kid, it confused me whenever the cartoon Jessica Drew was a reporter and blonde haired, and then the comic book one had dark hair and was not a reporter.
Okay, I need to make your eyes violet.
But I also liked the comics better than the cartoon as a kid. So, although that first comic series ends pretty weird. But yeah, she was made, as Brooke mentioned in chat, she and She-Hulk were made 100% so that nobody else would make them, because Stan Lee got mad about Power Girl over at DC. Because he's like, we already had Power Man. How could they make Power Girl? And this is newsflash, Stan Lee. But in the 1960s, DC Comics had a a set of characters called the Legion of Superheroes. Kind of a big deal, Stanley. That's where your Jim Shooter person came from.
Big deal.
And one of the characters there was Power Boy, who was rumored to somehow, at one point, was actually just Superboy in disguise. So in the 70s, when they created Power Girl, they were playing off of Legion of Superhero, which Legion of Superheroes is a part of the Superman family. So it was just, Power Girl is basically Supergirl of Earth too, with big eyeliner. So anyway, Jim Shooter. Pain. But because of that, he created Spider-Woman and She-Hulk before anybody else can. Which Spider-Woman I see, but I think somebody would create a She-Hulk character, I think that was a bit of a stretch.
No power bottom joke. No, I'm concentrating on trying to
power
find
bottom jokes. Why?
I don't know. Why is this purple is just like breaking as I'm using it? But like not in the usual way. It's like very brittle.
I'd never read Julia. It was Julia Carpenter, I think was her name. I never read any of her comics though. I was not reading Marvel at that point.
I had that problem with the silver
skin,
last time.
Skin and hair is done.
Nice.
It's a little hard just to like make it even looking, but it is what it is. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, there have been allegedly just right now there's at least 2 different names that we've heard, and Gwenpool. So I guess it's the case of a really popular character that they can't find the right name for, which is a thing. All right, so I've got a tangerine mountain. Let's see. I'm gonna do these spiky things. Hold on.
Spiky things.
Spiky things.
Yeah, these.
Yeah, are they mountains?
I think those are teeth or something for maybe Grayskull. So I'm gonna pretend that's what they are.
Mm.
Or
they're just like rocks.
I thought they were like when they were breaking into Snake Mountain.
That probably is what they are. Dang, and I used all those purples. Okay.
When they were breaking into Snake Mountain.
I've got purple, and I've got red, violet.
I'm trying to remember what it looked like.
All right, let's find. Let's watch this out like an artist. Light brown. All right, let's see. So this is the Hydrangea. I don't know. How do you say that?
Antique brass.
I can't talk sometimes. All right.
Talk.
Okay, so that's a really sort of, I would call that more.
Belt is definitely brown.
What is it? Mauve? How do you say it? M-A-U.
Mauve.
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 And then purple.
Is her shirt white? Tila's?
Tila.
Or is it a light gray?
It's white.
Okay.
It's like a creamy, eggshelly white shade.
Okay.
It could be off-white. It's probably like white on Eternity to me is a bad choice because there's always like slime or Beastman slobber. Like it's just not a very clean planet. Orko smells.
I love how when I searched Tila and Andra, like there's a lot of fan fiction pictures.
There's a lot of fan fiction, but also I wonder how
much of that, I'm not mad at.
I wonder though how much of that started out as just trolling a certain element of the fandom who were like, "Oh my God, Tila's got a girlfriend in the new series. It's too woke."
I mean, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well,
Fuck he,
there are
man.
people who are afraid of that stuff.
Poor babies. They need a song.
Really
Little bunny, you're so pretty and cute, and you're precious to me.
No rabbit.
Johnny.
Never trust a rabbit. You've seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer, right?
Nope.
No. Well, Johnny,
you're not going to comment on that?
Yeah, I've seen Buffy.
No, but Johnny loves bunnies.
I have, Anya has the distrusted same Anya. That was when I was really like, I really appreciate Anya. And that was another actress Josh Whedon fucked the fuck over and was horrible too. You can always tell who
Anya,
Josh Whedon hated because all of a sudden their hair was different every week on the show.
Can I help you?
That was how you could tell when he started going after Charisma Carpenter, because every week on Angel she had short hair, she had blonde, she had that pretty long hair and they chopped it off. And then killed her right after that. And if it's a spoiler for you because you haven't watched Angel, oh wow, fuck Josh Whedon's bullshit. If Josh Whedon is watching right now, sir, you're an asshole, and I hope you get worms.
Damn, Allison. Tell us how you really feel.
Right? No, anyway. He's not quite Moby level in disdain yet, but one more story and he might actually surpass Moby and the Allison, especially because I do enjoy Buffy and Angel and Firefly, and I'm one of the 5 people who like Dollhouse. So,
I loved Dollhouse.
Yeah, that was a really good show.
Allison, your page camera went out.
Ruh-roh. SpaghettiOs. Do I have a gold pencil?
There we
There
go.
you go.
Thank you. I would have not noticed that. It's because some jerkwad tried to call.
Cool.
So. All right, let's see what's in the chat. Yep, it's true.
Yes, they can just be friends. I'm fine with it either way. Joshie, but damn, was I?
Yeah, that was a thing. We don't discuss the clownfish yet.
We don't talk about Bruno. Take a drink every time we do that.
Right. I still enjoy Angel and Buffy and all of the shows. And for me, part of that is the fact that he didn't write all of those shows. There were a lot of women actually who he had as writers on his show. Marty Noxon was a pretty good writer. Sarah Michelle Gellar, great actress, did a lot for that show. She was Tila in Revelations.
Yep.
Charisma Carpenter, I adore Cordelia. I mean, Cordelia for me arrived in that first episode where she looked at Willow and Willow's outfit and she's like, oh, wait, do the coffee so I can hope to attain a level of Cordelia-ness. Somebody's exploring the softer side of fears. Anyway.
Hey, nope. Be right back. Someone stole socks.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I still enjoy all the stuff. It's hard.
Yeah, anytime I think about Whedon and Buffy and Angel, I just think about Fred and get sad.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole Fred thing, there's a lot in Angel that made me really angry and unhappy in general.
Naughty.
Naughty. When you go back and you sort of know the behind the scenes stuff, sort of the shitty treatment of a lot of the women characters, especially in Angel, just becomes really harder to watch.
And
Angel is just not a cheerful show in general, but just the treatment of Cordelia, the Fred situation, and there was absolutely no reason for Fred / Illyria. They've changed that later in the comics, but it was just that was just BS, Josh Whedon.
And it's so weird too that there would be behind the scenes mistreatment and just bullying and abuse of the women on the show when they were the focal point
right? And that was
Welcome to women.
Most. I don't
well,
understand
it's especially sort of. I think it's hard for a lot of and there's still some people that seem to like be doing finger and ear la 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 with it because those especially Buffy is very empowering to the sort of women femme girl side of things. Like it's a pretty I mean like it's dated by today's standards because we continue to evolve as people, but
as we
for
should.
the time it was very like progressive, and it's like women can kick ass and be strong and be action heroes, and and so it's especially hard to hear all of that because for a lot of us that was it still is like it's still a very empowering show, warts and all, but it's just it makes it extra hard, especially because Whedon publicly was such an advocate for empowerment and how strong and badass women could be, and like Willow and
Tara.
Yeah, I kept trying to call her Summer for some reason, but Willow and Tara, like that was really strong queer representation early on for like not straight people. Like it was a really big deal when that happened. And it's just sort of sad that Tara seems to be one of the actresses who has a story. The actress who played Tara seems to be one of the actresses who has some stories about that stuff, and it's just too bad. Like
it sucks.
It sucks really bad because that show meant so much to so many different people that were sort of disenfranchised. So anyway, enough about that nonsense. And that's one of the cool things. Let's take it back to Andra and Tila. That was what I liked. One of the things I liked a lot about Andra, because as I mentioned on the stream on Friday, like the original character she sort of was developed from that was in Star Comics was like not a fun character. She was really just a Tila knockoff, but I like that they took sort of the basic concept of that character, and she was Tila's friend, and I like that they built on it, and they brought some. It's nice to have a not white person in Masters of the Universe. It's like her and Clamp Champ as far as like
Clamp Champ
main characters, and then there are some Filmation characters, but in the vintage toy line, it was just not Sunman. It was just Clam Champ, who was basically came out after Sunman. It was almost like Mattel was like, wait, we're losing money. What do we do? Oh yeah, let's make Clamp Champ. So I liked Andra.
The champion of clams.
She was just a cool character. She's just a cool character. She's also like a hopeful character, which is fun.
Clam Champ is a woman?
No, Clam Champ is a black man.
Oh, Andra. Got it.
Yeah, Andra is a black woman.
Yeah. Sorry, misheard.
Exactly. Well, not only that, Andrew. It's a great. Not only is speaking role, but she's capable through the whole show. But she also is not artificially capable. She kind of messes up the timing too.
She makes the tech.
But she is a capable, she gets, we can't talk too much because Kayla hasn't watched the second half yet, but Andra gets a nice arc on the show for a secondary supporting character, and that's really cool. For me, that's what Masters of the Universe was as a kid. It was always about the side character. He-Man was not my play pattern. And it was Tila and the Masters of the Universe in my house. Well, when my brother played, it was He-Man, but whatever. We didn't actually play together a lot. We shared toys, and he would play with his stuff, I would play with my stuff. And if he was playing Masters of the Universe, I was probably playing Star Wars or GoBots or something. Or Strawberry Shortcake. So, all right, I'm going to try to get fancy. I've colored these teeth in the pink. I'm going to try to actually shade it in a little bit. But see what kind of shading I can do with this paper and this these Amazon pencils. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Same with Natasha over on Princess of Power. Yeah, and Natasha was my last vintage Princess of Power that I bought at the store at Kmart. Agreed. Yeah, like Jitsu is still a character I'm kind of like, huh. Hello, Attorney and Ellipse. Nice to see you in the chat today. Thank you
Good
for
seeing you.
I'm going to scroll back through checks. I've just been prattling on.
Trying to find a better picture of her.
All right, very good. Yeah, and sort of to end Andrew's other comments, you know, like G.I. Joe was really good at inclusiveness back in the day, so they didn't have any black ladies in there. And there was, Andrew could talk a little bit more about this, and he will, because at some point I'm going to invite him on to do, like, I don't know, a live stream or a pre-record or something where we talk about some of his stuff. Hopefully it will help him, inspire him to make some YouTube stuff, because he's a wealth of knowledge about the unproduced lady action figures of the 80s and 90s, which is one of my favorite topics. But at one point there was gonna be a black female character in G.I. Joe called Doc, which was the niece of the original Doc character, who was the second, if I remember correctly, the second black character in vintage G.I. Joe. I think it was.
I searched Andra Revelation. Oh, most of it's toys. So she wasn't in anything prior to Revelation?
Not in her current form. There's in 1986, and I say this because I'm working on this script for Andra right now for my channel. In 1986, Marvel Comics did a spinoff, not a spinoff, did a comic of Masters of the Universe. And I believe it was issue 9, featured the arrival of a character named Andra, who was a redhead female warrior who looked almost just like Teela. She was the original creation for that series. So far as I know, and as anybody else knows who I've asked, who would have such knowledge, such as I asked Adam at the Battleground blog one point, who has a lot of sort of behind the scenes stuff that he just slowly works through and releases on the site. She wasn't ever actually based on it, sort of an action figure. She was just somebody the writer created to, like, sort of to make the comic better. But she was a woman. She was redhead. She was pretty much Teela. At the time in the comics, they were sort of transitioning toward stuff that we won't talk about because it would sort of spoil some Revelation stuff for you. But they were sort of transitioning Teela's character a little bit to bring in some different elements. And so eventually her character evolves basically to sort of almost replace Teela. But she's a lot angrier. She was a lot brassier. She was sort of that 80s stereotype of the tough, confident, aggressive woman who's probably going to get you into trouble a little bit. She sort of rushes in hot-headed. But she was also very sort of Teela. Like, it was just sort of angry Teela. So I never had a lot of appreciation for the character as a kid because she literally had like 5 or 6 panels. And it was clear to me she was just a Teela knockoff even as a kid. So that was what was cool when they sort of gave her the Netflix makeover, you know, where they fleshed her out. They made her a full character. But they retained what was cool, you know, like she's Teela's friend. So, like, she helped, you know, like, which helps humanize and make Teela a cool character, but she has friends who aren't her dad and Adam. Yeah. And the other heroic warriors. So, I don't know. Andra, I liked. And then, you know, like, so before the show, I was obviously, like, predisposed to like her because, like, she checks all the boxes, female action figure. Black woman. Like, I'm a big fan of strong Black characters in general. I'm pretty woke that way. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm woke.
Because it's so bad to be woke.
Yeah, it just that for me. It just comes.
How dare you believe in
I know,
equal
how dare I.
representation and for
Yeah.
everyone?
A big part of it is
how dare you care about
Yeah,
people
right.
and being representative in their feelings and treating people like
Well, wait,
humans. How dare
this
you?
is usually how I get out of it with those people. Some of my best friends are Black, so but
So you
growing
can't
up,
be racist.
yeah, I can't be racist. No, growing up, like I just noticed a lot of my friends didn't have toys that, like,
Yeah.
you know, it was like Strawberry Shortcake had Orange Blossom, and G.I. Joe again was pretty representative. I noticed that, but all of my Black girlfriends, like none of them like really had a lot of, definitely not in the action figure aisle. So it just always sort of stuck with me, and like, you know, that they were kind of left out. And then like
Yeah.
Natasha came out, and Natasha was the coolest thing to me in She-Ra, and it was at the end of that. But like there was finally a female Black action figure. I mean, She-Ra's back then were a lot more doll-like, but it was just cool that like when my friends came over, suddenly there was a character they actually were super excited about who looked like them.
Yeah.
It matters, you know, and
It
like
does. It
it's
really
not being
does.
woke. It's just like there needs to be room for everybody, and everybody
Yeah.
should have a spot or a character that they can relate to on some level.
Mhm.
It's not a lot. It doesn't hurt anyone to have Andra or, you know, Clamp Champ to get a bigger role or whatever. Nobody's hurt by that stuff. If it hurts you, then
No, it only helps.
So anyway, that's my soapbox for the morning.
Thank you.
But
for
yeah,
coming
so that
to
and that's where it
Allison's
comes
soapbox.
from. So yeah, unfortunately, I have to use that. Like some of my best friends, but it's literally just because I watched growing up, like sort of how the lack of representation impacted them.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is shitty. Like,
Yeah.
it's shitty that as kids, like I it was bad enough that I noticed it as a kid, but it's shitty that any kid should have to think about that when it's like you just want to be a kid and hang out with your friends and play. So anyway, Don't be shitty, people.
Don't be shitty.
Don't be shitty.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah, it's not that hard to be
It's
a
not that
decent
hard.
human. Not that hard.
It's not. Yeah. So anyway, like, you know, I'm predisposed, like I said, to like just like that. You know, and it makes my action figure shelf much cooler and much more in line with what my sensibilities are. I think that's a big part of why, you know, I did start getting back into action figures. Well, Star Wars. I can't pretend it wasn't Star Wars related.
Subscribe.
Powers of the Force. Oh. I don't know. Did I? Who's Leroy Jenkins?
Leroy.
Yeah, I think it's a reference, and I don't know who that is.
Wow, that was a
It's
lot.
a World of Warcraft meme.
Oh, well, that would be why.
It looks like her straps are more gray, and then her body armor is black. I'm really trying hard to match these colors as best I can. That's why it's taking me so long. But I did do sparkly gold clasps.
Andrew, I'm sorry. Derek, this is a great question. Do we need to talk about Asian character in Mask? Oh boy, no, we don't. But if you go listen to yesterday's podcast, they do discuss it.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Yep, there is, and it's pretty good. I do recommend that. Let's see. And there was the. Thank you. Right? Exactly. So yeah. Anyway. Oh, gotcha. Okay. So thank you, Rick. That was the reference. So yeah, since I didn't probably I'm gonna go look that meme up after this stream before I get back to editing. all of the editing I'm behind because of the power nonsense over the last. I mean, there was one day we didn't have anything happen, but I was just so wiped out by all of the power nonsense that I was like, I'm not doing shit because as soon as I try, it's gonna go out.
I forgot her arms. Damn it.
So
I didn't realize her arms were bare.
That is sort of my question for you, Kayla, a little bit, because you are of a different generation that has been more sort of inclusive and diverse than sort of what it was when I was a kid. So what is, as you're coming into Masters of the Universe, like, is that something you've noticed? Like that, I mean, like, I'm curious because in my opinion, some of what keeps the younger generation away from some of these older properties is stuff like that, where it's not necessarily.
I mean, obviously, like, could maybe be a little bit better, but like, I do appreciate the focus on the women characters, and like, especially because it's mostly Tila and Andra most of the season. Like, I think that's really great. Yeah, I mean, if I went back and watched the older stuff, I think I would have a different opinion, I'm guessing. I don't know though. Like,
what's funny is the older cartoon Filmation was pretty good about bringing in various ethnicities. Sometimes those characters were not necessarily what's the word I'm looking for? Enriching to the but it was sort of a representation is representation. There are a few characters in Filmation who look like stereotypical, the sort of stereotypes you shouldn't be doing. There are a couple.
Yeah.
Not a lot. There are a few here, and it for me, it's more noticeable for me with the Asian characters when they involve. Like their version of Jitsu is very cringe. Oh, I used that word properly. My niece would be upset. I often use these words, and she's like, "You can't
cringe."
Say Allison. Yeah, cringe.
I don't think cringe is like a new word.
The usage of it is within the last 10 years.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, Gen Experience. I'll have to check that out, Andrew. Thanos lived the meme. There we go. Yeah, and I've got a bunch I've got a Death Sparrow for Delta 17 that I need to finish editing so that I can pop that up, because Ken was very generous and did an interview with me for it. So I would like to get that out this lifetime. Every time I'm in the middle of editing that's when the power dies, and I'm just like, geez, universe, are you trying to send me a sign? But no, it's just that the infrastructure where I live is not great. So,
I'm surprised the power didn't go out the last couple nights when it was raining here, because it really likes to go out here. At my place, it rarely goes out, but here, I'm like kind of in the hills, it likes to go out. So that's fun. How long has it been going? Like, how long will it go out for at a time?
So, like last Sunday, it was just out. It went out like an hour before I was supposed to start streaming last week, which was like, oh my god! And it was me and Muriel. We were gonna do Strawberry Short, and we haven't gotten any like hangout time since before Christmas. The last time me, you, Muriel, and Andrew were on here was the last time Muriel and I got significant hangout time. Just because holidays, and so we were gonna. And she was supposed to hang out with me for the holidays. We were gonna color Strawberry Shortcake on Christmas Eve, but her partner's family had invited them at the last minute. Like, obviously they do that. And eat amazing Armenian. I think she's in Albania. Go eat. I always want to say Armenia, but it's Albania. Go eat amazing Albanian.
Same.
And then the power went out, so it was just like, let's just do a pre-record, babe. So we'll do that soonish, so that I have a couple extra, because I'm gonna try to make it down to the Bay Area in March, I think, And that'll
Oh,
be
you are.
I'm gonna try.
Wow, this one colored pencil is like very textured for whatever reason. Ribbed for your pleasure.
Interesting.
I don't know if you can see that, like especially compared to this one. See how it almost looks. Yeah,
it looks like the wood is.
Which one is that, Kayla? I'll see if mine's
gray.
Just gray.
It's only on half of it. The other half is smooth.
Yeah, that's probably something with the wood, or the paint is flaky or something.
Probably.
Ochre.
Do I have a gray?
Mine doesn't appear to have that.
Weird. Weird. We don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah, Thanos copter, you usually do. I looked for it this morning while I was getting ready, and it was not there. How dare you? How dare you?
Well, if so,
how very dare.
I'm looking at what I'm going to do for the rocks, and since I'm thinking that this is Snake Mountain, I'm like, well, which purple am I going to use? And then I pull out Purple Mountain's Majesty. So that seems like for
I use
for Snake Mountain, Purple Mountains.
And something. Should I do the same thing, Johnny?
I mean, that's your call if you want to.
I feel like I have to now.
Yeah. Just some good conversation that I'm checking on. The chat is enjoying themselves.
To get to the background. But we're gonna try. Oh, there's gray on her bowl too.
Right.
Oh, no.
It's funny you should mention that Chris will be there around that time. Yes, he will be, won't he? Yeah, so that he had mentioned that he was planning that, so that it's my goal to try to land sometime.
Oh,
so that
it's gonna be like right after I get back from Disney World.
So.
I might be dead.
It's like an hour and a half on Southwest from the Pacific North, the Portland area, which is where I would have to fly out of.
The checks
to North Bay area. So like my thought was
I would fly into SFO.
I think that's where it usually goes.
And unless you know someone that can take you from the North Bay. Excuse me.
I fly in wherever it is at Southwest. I always
Southwest flies into anywhere. If you fly into SJC, I live like 10 minutes away, so I could get you.
I'll figure it out.
And I think, Brick is pretty close to.
I'll figure it out. I also sort of, if I land somewhere close to the trains, I'm vaguely train oriented. So last time I went there, I did get off. Is it Fruitvale? Is that the name of the place? Fruitvale?
Oh yeah, on BART.
I was not impressed. I got off. I'm like, I'm really hungry. I should go eat. And I left the train station a little bit. And I'm like, I'm gonna get back on. Eat somewhere.
Well, that's the station that the movie is based on.
There's a movie?
Yep. With Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
bad stuff happened there.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's my luck. I get off at
You can look it up.
And bad things happen. So
yep.
I just was like, wow, like there's not any good food anywhere close. And I need to just get back on the train. I also felt that way when I got off in an area where there were too many Mayo Sapiens. I was like, I don't trust this. I'm out.
Did you say Mayo Sapiens?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very much. Well, San Jose isn't as much, but where I am at this very moment is very Mayo
I got off somewhere and it was like, I'm like, oh, it's Stepford. I'm getting back on.
Excuse me.
Because I had, while I was there, I had like 2 or 3 days where I didn't have anything
can I help you? Do you need to go outside? Do you need to go potty? Is that why you're annoying me?
And I got on the train and I just was like, let me go. Because that's what I did when I first moved to the Pacific Northwest. I would drive to one of the train stations way out and then jump on it and just go into Portland and just jump off on stops and go explore. And I was far more adventurous as a youth. But anyway,
Same.
find all these cool places. And I was like, I'll do that. And then I got off on a couple places and I was like, I guess I can't do that in the Bay Area the way I did elsewhere. Because, like I'm saying, I got off in that one place and I literally was like, wow, it's Stepford. I'm like about to be reprogrammed. And then I'm going to be like, please take me to the nearest pottery barn. I desire woven goods. It has been made by indigenous people of their country and imported to America.
I would say that's, definitely certain parts of the Bay for sure. But not I guess on Caltrain, if you take Caltrain, but BART for sure doesn't have as much.
I like the name of BART.
Mm-hmm.
I think I still have money on my BART ticket as well. So.
Oh, BART!
I think they just changed that finally.
I just watched Beacon 23. If you haven't watched it, it's a pretty good sci-fi show with Lena Headey in it.
So
there's a AI character in it named Bartholomew.
So one thing really quick, what I did like about BART, and this was why I was like, okay, this might be a great mode of transportation, because I was on there, and then a man fell asleep, and then a houseless person started lecturing them on sleeping on the train and taking up too much space on the train and how disrespectful it was.
Yeah.
Like, that's very, that is a very empowered houseless person that and it was a dude in a suit. He was like had his briefcase, he was doing the man spread, and he got read for the floor by a houseless person on the BART. And I'm like, I think I like this. I think I could do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, these are my people, the salt of the earth.
It's basically BART is basically Walmart transportation. You see a lot of stuff on there.
Shop at Walmart. They've got the best prices on some stuff.
They do.
I took the train once, technically twice. I went to New York City from here in central Pennsylvania. And it was funny because I went to visit a friend of mine who lived in New York City, and it was my birthday weekend, and my friend Dawn also was on the same train independently with no pre-planning. Neither of us knew until she called and we were talking. She's like, I'm going to the Super Bowl. I'm like, wait, what? And it was the year that the Super Bowl was in New York. I'm like, I'm going to New York that weekend. How are you going? We were on the same train going to the same place, just independently of each other.
How funny.
See, I grew up watching All My Children and One Life to Live with my mom and grandmother, and they were both set in Pennsylvania. And so I always, and they were always like, oh, she took the train to New York today. And it was always really easy for them to go to New York. And at one point I'm like, well, if I would ever live on the East Coast, I would live in Pennsylvania or Maryland, so that New York was always just a train ride away.
Yeah, I just got on the train where I am straight through, to the biggest stop along the way was Philadelphia, and then continue on to.
I have friends in Philadelphia. I hear they have a great cheesesteak. I literally, whenever because I've, over the last year or two, I've been thinking about perhaps moving. And I was looking at the East Coast, and there are a couple places in Maryland that I was like, that wouldn't be bad. And it's really close to those crab cakes. Because what I will say is everyone makes the joke, but once you've had a Baltimore crab cake, you don't want any other kind of crab cake.
I've never heard that before.
Really? You have never heard a joke about crab cakes in Baltimore?
No.
Really?
Nope.
That's strange, because...
Yeah, Maryland is all about crab. Yeah. And Baltimore.
I mean, I know about crab, and when I was in Boston, I got a lobster roll, which honestly, the lobster rolls I get here are probably the same. That's only because I know a good place. Okay, I'll take you outside. But yeah, haven't heard of the crab cake, and I love crab cakes. So, okay, I'm gonna go let out the beast. I'll be right back. Release the beast.
Release the beast.
Yeah. If anyone makes it up to the Portland area, give me a heads up, and I can arrange to be in Portland, because I don't live in Portland. I'm outside of Portland these days, but it's easy for me to get into Portland. And we can do like I meet everyone at Powell's City of Books, because that's the best spot in the world. But it's also very central in downtown, and there are a lot of cool places that are easily within walking distance, and then like you can move out from there. So also the Billy Galaxy toy store is like right down the street from Powell's. So yeah, if anyone makes it up this way, give me a heads up, and I will endeavor to get further into the city so that we can hang and we can meet. All right, let's see, brown. Wow, Johnny, you're coming along pretty well there.
Thanks.
I am still working on background.
I open the door. And he doesn't want to go out. Like, what do you want from me?
I just want
What do you
attention.
want?
just
Yeah,
wanted
clearly. Oh, I forgot my pills are in my pocket. I should probably take those.
Take your meds.
Yeah. Especially because I have to take them with food. Oh, and part of my nail. That's nice.
Oh, there you go.
Hey. Off. Ow. 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 Off. Ow. That hurt. It hurt. Also, when you said if we would like to meet up, it sounded like you said mate. Oh.
Did you park the car in Harvard Yard?
All the whining dogs. Hi. You're cute, but you're annoying.
I could put claws on her arm brick if that makes you feel better.
Is that another reference to
I can't quite find what her left arm thing looks like, because it looks different in a bunch of pictures I've looked at.
It looks different than all the reference photos I pulled up, so I'm not sure.
Okay, you're just going with it. Also, okay.
On the figure, it's like a red maroon color.
Sir, I opened the door for you. Look at him. He's just.
He's like, wait, but you're not paying attention to me now.
Mm-hmm. Don't do drugs, kids.
Drugs are bad.
Mm-hmm.
I saw what they did to my friends in high school. It made them look really weird.
Both Andra and Tila's arms are jacked.
Yep.
Yeah, they're fucking masters of the universe. They're supposed to be.
But
They're
like,
mommies.
if you're gonna like wrestle monsters and shit, you should probably work out a little bit.
That was one of the other things that the other complaints that people had about Tila. It was like, oh, Tila's too buff. I'm like, dude, she's a warrior. She's the captain of the guard.
Because women can't have muscles.
If you go look at that original Tila figure from 1982, like look at Tila's thighs. Tila was packing the thigh muscle, like she could run.
Packing.
Yeah.
Like she
Kayla,
like had thin wispy arms and stuff, but you know, from the waist down, Tila was like what is the word that kids use? Like
thick.
A bad mamma jamma.
Kayla, I would tell the people who say that women shouldn't have muscles is to go look at Jade Cargill and tell me that that's still true.
Who?
Jade Cargill. She's a professional wrestler. She was in AEW. She's signed to WWE. If you're not familiar with her, go look her up.
Is that the one that you sent me that's like has dark hair and mommy?
No, I think that's Rhea. Jade has has had tons of different color hair.
You have to send me a picture. I need a visual.
All right.
I need to visualize this.
All right, my background is finished. It's time to get to the people. All right. So I need to figure out skin for Andra because my normal jam is not this boxed pencil, so I don't know what. Oh, that is burnt ochre. I think I already swatched that one. I did. It's a good base layer. Bark.
We don't talk about no. Damn it! No, it's stuck in my head.
Bark is not going to work for skin.
Did you just send it to me?
Yes, on Discord.
Heard my notification go off. Okay, I'll look on my phone. Actually, I think I have it. Do I have it accessible? Don't switch. Oh. Damn. Also, that's a really cool suit outfit. Two-piece? I don't know what to call that. Gear?
They call
shiny.
Wrestlers' outfits, they call gear.
Gear.
It's cool. I like it. It's shiny.
Jade's badass. She's awesome. I can't wait for her to start wrestling in WWE.
I was about to say something.
She's in WWE.
You can't wait for her to...
She signed with WWE, but she hasn't debuted yet. She's been on TV a couple of times. They've been hyping up her debut, but I think she's going to end up debuting in the Royal Rumble.
Is she going to have the same name, or is she going to have a different name?
Yeah, that's just her name, and she's keeping it. Like they're
cool.
She's built a whole brand around her name and everything. So to debut her as anything but her own name of Jade, at least just Jade, if not Jade Cargill, would be dumb.
Well, I know sometimes with WWE or whatever, like The Rock is not, he doesn't get to
a lot of that was Vince, and Vince is no longer involved with the WWE. So
did he finally die, or what happened?
No, he it's a really long story, but Endeavor, the company that owns UFC, ended up buying out WWE. Vince actually sold all his shares.
Okay.
So he's on the board for Endeavor, but they basically told him, hands off WWE, don't worry about it.
Gotcha.
Which is good. He deserves it because there was a lot of... Vince McMahon is not a good dude. He's pretty scummy in multiple different ways.
Accurate.
So, yeah.
Oops. Throw that pencil. All right. And then this one is brown ochre. All the ochres in all the world. That's nice.
I'm trying to think of what I should do with these clouds in the sky now that I've done the purple mountains. I think orange for...
That brown ochre is nice, though. I think I'll use that.
Yeah, I was going to say Thanos, but that's probably what it was.
Red.
Oh, God.
Yep, have a good one, Derek. Thanks for popping in.
This color is called Heat Wave, and it just does not come across on video.
Yeah,
the way that it.
Oh yeah, I've used that before. It doesn't.
It's like neon safety orange.
A lot of neons don't. That's why I end up not using a lot. I used on one of my first gem coloring videos. I used all the neons to make the background. Didn't show up on camera, and then when I scanned it, it just wasn't there. I'm like, never mind.
Just kidding.
Thanks for nothing. That's sort of the weird thing about sort of doing this on camera. Is there's some choices that I can't make because they just don't photograph well. And usually I figure that out because I do something and then I stop and look in the camera. I'm like, wait, what happened?
It probably is.
And then I'm just like, well, this one's definitely going to be a short. Because in 30 seconds, it's less impactful than if you do a 5-minute or longer coloring video and the effect doesn't work. I've had 2 or 3 videos that are shorts that were originally intended to be longer, but because something didn't quite work, that 30-second to 1-minute format is far more forgiving of mistakes or an effect not working.
Yeah.
I totally forgot to do some of. I didn't realize Tila's arms were poking out. Gotta go back and do those. Slowly coming along.
Yeah, I think this here is
that's.
part of
I think
Tila's
that's
arm.
her arm. Yeah, I think it is. That's what I was just figuring out. But I also forgot the shoulders. So
yeah, the little sort of bump behind Andre's back. Yep, that's Tila's arm.
Yeah.
That's one of one of the things about this book. A few of these pages are quote unquote clip art compositions where they took 2 or 3 they took something made elsewhere and then copied and clipped it in and then made this picture. So like
just
both this
rearranging
Andra
assets.
this Tila and this Andra were most likely drawn as like single characters and they were popped in on top of this background. So it's wasn't sort of composed for the 2 of them to be together on this page. So there's some weird things.
You know what I think did that a lot? The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers coloring books, the originals, because they would draw the Rangers in all sorts of different martial arts poses, and then they just like copy paste them and sometimes like mirror them so that they were facing different directions.
Yeah, it happens a lot, and especially like I bought a couple of the modern coloring books.
Oh my god!
And half of them are just the same thing.
Trying to get on the shit. Totally just ate it.
Oh no.
Are you okay?
Poor guy.
You have slippery paws. You slippery paws? Are you a slippery boy? Slippery boy.
I will say that
yeah, you were definitely outside. You smell like outside.
Brick colors for Tila's hair are kind of nice. The red, brown, and the brick red for Tila's hair is working nicely. I might actually.
Yeah, it looks good.
I need to figure out how to replicate that with Prismacolor because this is perfect for even regular Tila hair. I usually tend to go a little bit too orange. But, anyway, all right. So the goal was to get Andre's skin tone for Andra, and I got Tila's hair, so it's a win. Finish the eyebrows. That's one thing about these.
I use several colors for each of their skin.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a blend because it's gonna look weird to me if I don't. But
yeah, exactly.
And that is another thing for anyone watching this that actually cares about the pencils. Some of the barrels on these Amazon, the barrel color for the Amazon pencils, not quite lining up with what color you're actually gonna get. So. The 2 people watching this who are maybe making notes about that aren't here for our bubbly personalities and masters of the internet.
I've noticed that with some of my colored pencils, like whatever, like even like the tips. Yeah, the tip, the tips look different than
just the tip.
The color that comes out. It's very odd. Okay, let me do the rest of your skin.
Just
what?
Andrew's like chaos dog is chaos.
All right.
Yeah,
he's a lively sucker. Anytime you're over there recording.
And it's only when I'm recording. Honestly, when we did our stream, like he wasn't that bad. And on Mega J he wasn't that bad, but now he's bad. I'm just like
It's also an early in the day stream though, so it's sort of during
I guess. I think it's also because it's been raining, so I haven't been able to walk him. Although I think today it might be fine. Am I gonna walk him though? I don't know. We'll see how much energy I have. I do so much walking already. I'm like, ugh, so much effort.
It's so good for you.
Yeah, but I walk all day every day, so on the weekends I'm like, I really don't want to.
Oh, that's
rather not.
I forget the part of your job is walking.
Yes. What color did I use? Was it this one? Shit. Let's find out.
There we go. All right, this burnt Sierra is going to be good for her skin.
Oh, I love this color. It's pretty. We don't talk about Bruno. I really need to get that song unstuck from my head.
What song is that?
From Encanto. We don't talk about Bruno.
Nice. And just anytime you need to get a song unstuck from your head, there are two secrets. Number one, if you know the entire song, just sing the entire song from start to finish. Part of what gets a song stuck in your head is your brain is trying to finish it. So you actually listen to it or sing it from start to finish. It will usually unstick it.
Interesting.
Number two, you listen to a bigger earworm. So the two biggest earworms in my experience are "Oh Mickey, You're So Fine" by Tony Basil, or Belinda Carlisle, "Heaven on Earth."
Ooh.
Yeah, but to do it, you have to do the chest to do a proper Belinda. Ooh, baby, you have to do that. If you don't do that, it's not a proper Belinda part. I say that as someone who loves Belinda Carlisle, but yeah.
Was it this one? Did Matt just say something?
Alright. Yeah, this burnt sienna is actually really nice for on this.
I didn't use this color, did I? Looks like maybe I did.
Nice. Oh, that looks good. Sorry.
You're fine. I can't tell if this is the same color I used or not. It looks pretty similar, and it looks like I use this. Oh, the color is literally called tan.
That's one of the ones I told you earlier. Is it the Crayola? That's one of the ones I told you to use.
Well, now that I colored it, it's not the right color.
But
I think I might mix it with the color I had because she does have a little more orangey.
Yeah, I didn't tell you just use it by itself. I was like, you need to do a light layer of that and then add.
Yeah. I'm adding it to the rest. So now I need to find the other color that I used.
Oh wow. All right.
Do this first. Then I'll do that one. Do. Did you ever take art classes?
Me?
Either of you?
Yep, I did.
Go ahead, Allison. Sorry.
Oh no, I had art classes like in elementary school. We didn't have an art program in the high school, and then I took a couple of years of art classes in college, and along with the entire college experience, I did not enjoy college art.
Hey, me too. I did 2 semesters as a graphic design major and did not finish because fuck design fundamentals.
I didn't even get that far. I was just in basic art, but there was a lot of, like my art teacher, he was very, this is the way you do it, and any other way is wrong, and that's not how art works.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I had
that's
a few
the same
teachers
shit that I ran into.
And there's
a few teachers that were like that.
There's a big difference in art between these are the basics. This is the stuff you need to learn. And that was not, but that wasn't what he was doing. This wasn't like, this is the fundamentals of anatomy, or this is the fundamentals of, like landscapes or whatever. It was literally like, this is the only way to do it. And it's like, that's just not true. But it was also,
there's many ways to do many things.
I had a really good art teacher in elementary school. Like she to this day is like I can hear her voice in my head sometimes when I'm like mixing paint or like when I'm trying to figure something out. You know, one of the lessons like she would teach, or when she and when I say lessons, like she often didn't. She would be like, okay, this is how you mix paint, and she would give me like 2 or 3 acrylic paints and like walk me through the process. But a lot of times it would just be like, well, what do you think? And then she would sort of walk me through how to make decisions. So, and I still get, you know, like she did. I used to, when I drew back then, I would draw everyone's eyelashes the same. It looked really stupid. And she's like, you got to stop drawing eyelashes like they're robots. She's like, that's not how it works. And that I still, the last time she and I chatted, about 2 or 3 years ago, it was 2018, so a little bit longer than that. She passed though in 2020. She had dementia. So the last few times we talked, she didn't really fully remember me. But then she kind of would. And when we were chatting, she gave me the eyelash. She gave me the eyelash advice again because I was like, oh, remember we had class? And she was like, oh, yeah. And when she mentioned it, she said it was like time travel, and her voice changed and sounded exactly like it did back then.
Oh,
which is when I was like, wow, dementia is really odd.
Yeah,
the way it works.
dementia is.
But it was really it was a hard call just for that. Like it was fine before, you know, whenever it was like she doesn't probably fully remember you. And she's like, oh yeah, I remember you. At one point
Some things just click.
It clicked, and then it was like in the exact it was like for that moment it was like 1983, I think. Whatever year that was. And it was just it was difficult, but it was also really good to have that, especially because a few of the other calls, there was one where she called and she thought I was her daughter, and she was waiting for her daughter to pick her up for an appointment, and she was sort of in a panic that she was going to miss it. And I had to kind of talk her through that without, you know. So, yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
But she was a good art teacher, and I still draw from that. And it's funny because every so often I'll message her daughter like on Facebook or whatever and be like, I was cleaning paintbrushes tonight and, you know, remembered, you know, and stuff like that's good for her. Her daughter like is an artist. I should check with her and see if she's ready to start. She makes jewelry these days and she makes really amazing pieces. So I should see if she's ready to the point where she wants people to put that out there. Because if so, not only does she make great stuff, but she's really affordable too. So
that's cool.
I saw her sell a piece that would have gone for thousands, depending on the artist, that less than $300, and she makes it herself. It's not like she, you know, it's drop a gem into pre-made pendant. She actually forges the metal part herself. So
oh wow,
yeah, she's. I mean, her mom will be amazingly proud of her creativity and her talent and everything. So it's really cool to see that. Anyway, so yeah, I had some art, but not a lot, and really had been frustrated about art until I started doing the adult coloring thing, and it's been an easy sort of ease back into art. You know, because you get to use the color theory, you get to use a lot of the technique and stuff, but it's not necessarily quite the same. So I've been drawing again now. For a long time I didn't. I've been practicing. I did for the Carrie Fisher shorts I did for the week. I celebrated her for her passing. One of those shorts I actually drew myself. So that was a big deal for me. I didn't advertise it as such because I didn't want to make it a big deal for everyone else. But it was pretty cool. It was nice to sort of draw something that was mine.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It took forever.
I'm sure.
Forever to be happy with it, but I've been drawing again. So I think my goal for this year is to keep at that, and then by next year start maybe making some of my own coloring pages, so that, you know, because characters like Andra, Natasha, that I would like to color more of. There's just not a lot out there. It'd be kind of nice to Wonder Woman's sister Nubia, her black sister. So she introduces Nubia in an issue. It's like Nubia pops up in the comics. She's like, "It's Nubia, my black sister." It's like, oh, geez, Diana, geez. I don't think Nubia is her actual sister, though, in the current comics. I think she's just a sister Amazon. But originally, she was Wonder Woman's actual sister. So.
Which, I mean, if anyone was your sister, you probably wouldn't say, like, this is my white sister, this is my black sister, this is my Asian sister. Like, you know.
Yeah, that's what exactly. It's pretty clunky. But at the time, it was like, in 1980 when that comic panel appeared, one, you had to remind people that Wonder Woman had a black sister because they hadn't used her in years. But if they had just said, like, she's my sister, people might have gone, what? So by Wonder Woman acknowledging it, it's like, oh, okay, she's got a black sister. You know how you do. It was the 70s / 1980, but it would have been written and drawn in 1979. All right, I have not checked on chat in a bit. Let's see. Fan at my art. Yeah, I can see a lot of teachers not appreciating your sensibilities, Thanos. I'm glad you have found us because we do appreciate your sensibilities. That's awesome, Stanley. Do you still do any photography? You don't have to answer. Yeah, I can imagine. Like, just the few interactions I had with her, Thanos, was really hard.
Yeah, it's one of my grandmas had dementia and the other had Alzheimer's, and I also volunteered at assisted living home for years.
Ooh.
So, which, I mean, I love old people, so not as much as I used to, but yeah, it was just it's hard to see, and then also you want to like either correct them or I don't know, just oh yeah.
Yeah, my dad had alcohol induced dementia, and he was difficult enough to deal with when he was had all his mental faculties about him, so that was fun.
Yeah, it's one thing we learned was just like you gotta just go with the flow of it, even if it doesn't make sense, because they have no control over it.
And it's also not, like I was fortunate that like everything when we were chatting, me and she and I were chatting was her sort of clicking into older things that I did know. But before the first call, like, her daughter sort of went over with me, like, it's like this, she might do this, she might do that. She's like, the important thing is just not to panic or be noticed. And it's easier, obviously, on a phone call to not be noticeably, your face can do whatever on a phone call as long as your voice is normal and your words. So luckily everything she talked about was stuff that, nothing that I couldn't sort of roll with. I don't want to say good for me. It was good because it made it easier for me to not upset her or freak her out. So, but I don't know. She's probably one of the, like everyone sort of has those teachers that made a difference, but she was actually one of the people, like, when I started reforming and stopped being quite such a mess, when I was like, well, what kind of woman do I want to be in life? She is one of the people I sort of drew from to compose that. Like, I'm like, this is the sort of person I would like to be. So.
That was like me with my Nana, who had Alzheimer's. And she was like, it's funny because like most of my mom's family are super artistic, and she was super artistic. Like, I have a bunch of her doodles, and there's one in particular that she made for me, and I have I have some of them framed, but that's like in a nicer frame. And she signed it. Her like she was married and then she divorced my grandpa.
Yeah.
And so she signed it like post. I mean, they were divorced before I was born. But she signed it like her maiden name, so you could tell like her, even though her Alzheimer's really wasn't hitting her until before she passed. You could tell it was still there because she signed it like her maiden name.
Which is not how she would.
Yeah, and I used those letters, and that was my first tattoo behind my ear. Was her initials in her handwriting on my favorite thing that she drew for me. So
that's awesome.
Very meaningful. I didn't go for the tramp stamp first tattoo butterfly thing, despite what people probably think I did.
And if you had, so what? It's your body. Like,
yeah.
If you like the tattoo, get it.
Exactly. But yeah, she is definitely a free spirit, and I took a lot from her. Which it kind of sucks because it was one of those situations, as I've learned now, where she wasn't the best parent, but she was a good grandparent, and she let me be myself, which is the biggest thing, especially in this little niche of this area where, especially with like Catholic schools and stuff, where it's like, you got to be a certain way and dress a certain way and act a certain way, and she's like, do whatever you want to do, and that was great.
I think my mom's mom, that grandma, like it was similar, where like she was not necessarily the best mom, but she was a great grandmother. And there are a few aunt/uncle types who still, like, you know, it's been over 20 years since she passed, who are still carrying that sort of disdain, whatever we want to call it, for my grandmother. You get really sort of unhappy that I don't just dislike her because of reasons that they had. And it's just like, you know, like that's if we were junior high, then yeah, we get to have all the same enemies or whatever. I'm like, but I don't just dislike people, especially my grandmother, just because she wasn't a great mom. It's like she had mental health issues, people. At a time where if she had called, you know, she had wasn't even called bipolar, you know, it was manic depression for a while, but even that, when she first was experiencing it, it's like, if you called that out, they sent you to, like, it was Girl Interrupted. You got sent away, quietly divorced, your husband remarried, and got a stepmom. Like, it was just a different time. Like, so it's not like she could have gotten help for it. You know, it's not like it was even, half the doctors weren't even qualified to, like, you know, they would have just given her some pills, like, oh, you need mothers that'll help her. Here's some speed to get you through the day, and here's some Valium to take at night. So, yeah, but you know, that's
Thanos, I regret that tattoo. You have a tramp stamp butterfly, Thanos?
Oh. Hello, Cobb is here.
Hello.
Greetings, Cobb. All right, let me check out the chat. Yeah, I think college art classes, there's plenty of room for good and bad.
Yeah.
Also, Andrew makes this point. Yeah, the Lois Lane comic is something. Yeah, I'm
Dole's favorite comic.
Yeah, right.
Is that his favorite comic, really?
No, he talks about it all the time. He collects the really.
It's very it's a doozy. Yeah, and like when they were doing that comic, they really probably thought they were doing some good, but yeah, Lois Lane uses a machine to become black for the day to learn about the Black experience. And the name of it is I'm Curious Black. Something like that. I think I have a digital copy of it. I'll send you a picture of the cover, Kayla, so you can appreciate just the cover.
Oh no.
But yeah, it was
that's bad. That's really bad.
It's really bad. It's like Lois Lane blackface. So
yeah, no.
Yeah, like
that's a nah for me, dog.
Remember, there's the great comics creator, I believe Casually Comics is her name. Sasha, she's out of Canada and she does deep dives. She's also a Black woman creator, so like that in the comic space, which makes her extra awesome. But she often deep dives on the insanity that was Lois Lane comics of yesteryear, where like half the time it's her like, let me throw myself off this cliff so Superman will save me and prove that he loves me.
Boy.
And she'll throw herself off a cliff and he'll save her. Or he won't. Another hero will save her, and she gets mad. Like, how dare he be saving a planet 4 galaxies away and not be able to rush back and save me? He doesn't love me.
Poor baby.
Yeah, Lois Lane, she's got problems. All right, oh wow.
Sounds like it.
So we were a little bit longer than
I was gonna say, I'm not even close to being done.
I got a lot farther than I anticipated getting.
Yeah, you're pretty far.
I didn't realize we were
I'm just struggling to color match a lot of things.
I'm
trying not to care as much.
I was half tempted to just go nuts and like make Andrew green and Tila purple and like
like I did originally with She-Ra.
Yeah.
Because like I just have to fill in that's black and then like I have to do her arms and then I'm done with the people. What color is her little stick thing? Is what I can't find.
The staff? The one I have is black.
Gray?
That's like sort of a black color with like silver tip.
Huh. Okay, I'll just do random colors.
It's mostly silver with like brown caps.
Okay.
This is the collapsed form of it, but I don't know where her extended staff is.
Well, let's see. We still have a couple of people watching, so we'll go like another 20 minutes and see how far we can get, and then wrap up so we can all go watch
part 2.
Brick and Brick. Well, that, but also Brick and Adam will be doing. I think they're doing their AWOC stuff today, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they are.
Oh yeah.
I have not bought any AWOC yet because they don't have female figures available yet. But I do enjoy I've got a couple issues of the comics. I think the only ones that are out right now, but I do enjoy it. It's pretty cool. It's also fun to watch Brick and Adam excited about stuff.
Yeah. Our Toy Tubers' favorite boyfriends.
No, just Toy Tubers excited about something and not whining about Hasbro. Are doing like, can Hasbro Star Wars be saved? Let's put our beards together and figure it out.
Let's put our beards together. Oh my
oops,
god!
I said that out loud. Sorry.
Oh damn it! Did I forget that? Oh
wow.
Shit, Dick.
Okay, so I know I was talking a little bit of smack about these pencils, but
they're good.
I'm feeling okay about what's. I think I just need to play with them a little bit and get a feel because I'm starting to actually have fun with them, and I'm feeling pretty happy about Andra actually. Like I didn't do a blend. I just used one shade to get her skin tone, but I just various pressures on it to get, and like I did layers of the same color. But I didn't have to go in and add 2 or 3 different shades, and I'm pretty. I did a couple of colors on the lips, but
I did 3 colors, and I think her skin ended up close to the reference picture that I pulled up.
It's really. I have a really hard time with because there aren't a lot of tutorials online for anything other than Caucasian skin. So it's been a learning curve. Once I get a little bit more confident, I'm gonna probably do some tutorials on that, even though it's sort of not what my channel is. Like, I'm not sort of that kind of coloring channel, but I might do one just because it was so hard to find. I also keep hoping somebody of color that makes videos will do some skin tone videos, because that would be way cooler in my opinion. But if not, I might throw a few up, just because that's been a challenge for me, figuring that out. And if it's a challenge for me, there are other people it's also a challenge for. So
it shouldn't be a challenge. They should have more options and
exactly,
because there's brown and then there's an actual skin tone. But I mean, even for people not of color,
well, yeah,
I had to use 2 different colors for Tila.
I don't,
but still, there's more options.
Yeah, I don't, even, Tila, I'll put a cream down, I'll put probably an orange down, and then something over that that's more what people would like, a peach or sort of a beige or whatever. And that, but it's just, you can find a gazillion tutorials on adult coloring art that will walk you through various Caucasian skin tones. There are not quite enough for non-Caucasians, so I just, like I said, I would
non-Mayo sapiens.
I would rather somebody of color put those videos out. But if there's not one, I think in the next 6 months, I just do a couple. And then if somebody who is better equipped skin-wise pops up, I will just take mine down. Because it's not about, that one wouldn't be about the views. It would be about just making sure it's out there.
Yeah.
I don't want to get a gazillion views on something and then have somebody more qualified get fewer. That's shit.
Ow. I need to find a better picture.
So let me ask this, because they haven't announced who William Shatner is voicing in Revolution, but they did announce that John Delancey is Granomir.
Yeah.
And John Delancey, Kayla, you probably aren't familiar with him, but he was Q from Star Trek The Next Generation.
One of my favorite Next Generation things.
And also voiced, there was a dragon entity in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I forget the name of the character, but he voiced that character as well.
It always makes me laugh that My Little Pony has become such a big thing now.
I'm bitter about My Little Pony. Let's not talk about it.
Okay.
Just quick side note before we get back to Johnny's point. I was doing a daily short, my normal shorts, but also an extra one during Christmas. And I posted in a My Little Pony short, and YouTube flagged it as for children. I'm like, no, this is not for children.
It's for Brownie.
I challenged it. They said, no, it's for children. So I just deleted it.
What?
I deleted
That's funny
it
that they would
challenge
it. Yeah.
No.
Interesting.
I marked it for adults. I even changed the title. Adult coloring art for adults. My Little Pony. Nope. So anyway, continue, Johnny.
So the 2 big front runners for the character that Shatner was voicing were going to be Gwildor and Granomir. And now we know that John Delancey is Granomir. Shatner has to be voicing Gwildor, right? Is there anybody else?
I would say because my opinion has been, well, and people are like, well, Gwildor had that really specific voice. Yeah, but that was also because that's just how Billy Barty talked. Billy Barty was not doing a voice for Gwildor. That was how Billy Barty talked. Go watch Foul Play with Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn. Keep in mind that of the time, little people were not referred to as little people. because that's relevant for Billy Barty's part. But that he found, I'm like, the first time I rewatched that as an adult, I'm like, it's Gweldor from Motu. But it's the actor. That's what he sounded like. That was his acting style. So like when people are like, well, like Shatner sounds nothing like that. That's how Billy Barty talked. Billy Barty wasn't talking like a character. That was his normal voice. So I think it's Gweldor, because Gweldor is the only sort of supporting B-list character who has got enough stature to be, like, you're not going to bring Shatner. You're not going to be able to use Shatner every episode, like, because he's 1,000 years old and a fossil and could turn to dust at any moment. You can't afford Shatner for that many episodes, frankly, for a Netflix show, even just voice. But it needs to be a big part that's a big, small part. And Gweldor pretty perfectly fits that. He's going to show up, like, have a couple lines every episode. He might be around more because you can animate him but not have him talk. But, he's not going to have a big dialogue, like he's not going to have monologues in every episode. So Gweldor is perfect. Also, because he was in the movie, the character has a little extra stature than if you were to bring Shatner in and have him play, like, Extender or Clamp Champ or whoever. Like, Gweldor has a little bit more... he's a little bit more like showy because he has that movie connection happening. So
is this his first animated appearance?
Gweldor's? Yep. Yeah. Gweldor has never appeared outside of the movie and the one mini comic that came with his action figure. He was, I think, in some of the UK comics around that time.
Is there a live action movie?
Yeah. 1987.
Yeah, it's fine, but it's not. It's one of those, like,
they were
it's
trying
fine
to be
for what
Star
it
Wars.
is, but it's not Masters of the Universe.
It's not. Let's do that. Let's keep the F out on the movie after Revelations is over.
I thought we were gonna do She-Ra next.
I've got a campaign plan for She-Ra. The Motu movie will be a one-off.
The movie's easy because it's just a one-shot.
It's just a single movie. It's like barely 2 hours. Courtney Cox is in it before she was Courtney Cox.
Robert Duncan McNeil, who is on Star Trek Voyager, so that's a Star Trek.
Yeah, he was
also in an episode of Next Generation.
Interesting.
He used to be Charlie Brent on All My Children. That's how I knew him.
I watched a bunch of soap operas anytime I was sick from school. I fucking loved it.
I still occasionally will watch General Hospital. There's still a few of the Laura.
I just am fascinated how they still come up with different plots and storylines.
They don't. It's the same fiber.
I know it's pretty much the same, but
that's what I like about them. I like that you can always count on somebody coming back from the dead or an evil or
so funny.
One of the things I like, because when we were younger, my brother and I got my mom hooked on professional wrestling, and she got us hooked on The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful. Is they never hesitate to be like, the part of Ridge this week will be played by such and such. Like
that as a kid and as an adult, and once I appreciated camp more, remains one of my favorite parts. Is the role of will now be played by. Yeah.
Or even just temporarily. Like sometimes it just be like the actor who plays, because soap operas are weird because they just go like they're all week, all day, every week, like 52 weeks a year, 5 days.
They can't come in, and they can't easily rearrange the show. They will just hire an actor to come in for 2 or 3 days. Yeah,
I was wondering that. Is it literally every day is a new episode, or do they sometimes have reruns?
No. There are no reruns in soap operas.
Wow.
Sometimes they'll like do for special occasions like a
Fascinating.
clip show where they're like, it's 50 years of Days of Our Lives. Let's look back.
Like the
But
Seinfeld
there
clip
aren't
shows.
reruns. Yeah, there aren't reruns. Like,
Interesting.
I think that's one of the things that has hurt soap operas over the time, and the reason like why they've decreased and they don't have the viewers they once did. It's really hard to get in on a show. You just have to start watching and keep watching over time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of soap operas would benefit from like some sort of evergreen, like once a year doing, I don't know, like a yearbook or whatever. Like, here were the big stories of last year, and here's some key episodes, and like sticking that up on like Prime or something.
I love how I swiped and this was the picture that came up.
I mean,
Allison.
I can't complain.
Oh my goodness. Sorceress Butte.
I was like, I just want to look at what Andra's. Oh, okay. So the hand's green. So that hand's green again. So it probably has the same kind of gray thing on the back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Christina Pickles was the sorceress in the movie. Yeah.
It makes me think of Rugrats.
Sweet. Oh, see, this Thanos would have been epic if we had gotten Shatner's Manny faces. And then he could do the evil Kirk,
yeah, that would have been something.
Kirk voice for
I'm the captain.
Yep.
I'm the captain now. Yeah, it's funny how in this picture. No, I don't care about all this information. What? What's happening?
Welcome to the internet.
No, I'm just my phone.
Take a look around.
It's being stupid. Yeah, because it looks like it's like purpley. And then there's like a red thing, but this one doesn't have a red thing, so maybe this is different. I don't know. I'm just gonna make it my
Are you
own.
still stuck on Andrew's gauntlet?
Yes.
Just go with it.
The action figure has it.
I'm going with it. I've decided I'm going with it, okay? Shush. Shush. Sir. I'm gonna do what I want to do.
There you go, girl.
Yeah, once I finish this, I'm gonna be done.
Yeah, I'm getting Tila's skin right now, which will be sort of the end of what I feel like needs to be done for this sit while I go have some lunch after this, and
yeah, I have.
And then I'll finish this while listening to Brick and Adam. So.
Brick's boyfriend. Adam.
Oh, no.
I just like calling him Brick's boyfriend. Okay, so the hand is green. So you gonna be green.
Yeah, I kind of am sad that we're not going to get more of this Tila. Like, I like this look for her. Like, the armor and...
Wait, we're not? Allison?
What?
We're not going to get more
You've seen the previews for it.
I haven't. I didn't watch it.
You haven't? You haven't?
Because I didn't want to get spoiled.
You haven't seen any of the...
I just reshared it to our stories. Nope.
Wow, we don't get this look again. We've been spoiled.
Wait, what about her hair? Does her hair go back?
That I'm not talking about. I'm just saying, this look, this armor, we don't get it again after the show ends. We're not going to see her again.
Green Goddess Tila. It makes me want a Green Goddess salad.
Yeah. I'm sort of... hoping that the art we've seen that in the actual episodes with that green goddess look, that there's less cleavage. It would be nice for a woman to get powered up in media and not suddenly be the titty sister.
Titties.
Like Power Girl in the boob window?
Yeah, like for Power Girl, it's fine because it's always been part of her character, and like they've made it work for her. But like,
how do I not know about these things?
All the extra. Oh yeah, Power Girl has giant boobs. It's a whole part of Power Girl's character. It's also handled tongue in cheek enough that it's not weird. But I don't know. All the extra cleavage that we're going to be getting in that Green Goddess look. And I mean, that's from one of the comics. That was why I stopped reading that comic, because I was like, I don't need that much boob on Tila.
You're complaining about boobs?
Well, it's just, I think, like I'm older. And,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
For me, there's a little bit of a, well, we can power a female character up. We can make her extra super tough. And the boys will be fine with it as long as there's some cleavage showing. I mean, this look right here, like, if she had a boob window like Power Girl, how much would we have even heard if her boobs have been showing? Like, and that's the sort of thing I think about.
I wouldn't be paying attention.
She's to that. Well, if we were seeing boobs,
that's fair.
Would you have been okay with it? And I got people.
Did you see nipple? It doesn't count unless you saw nipple.
Yeah, like, I don't know. And that's the sort of thing I think about and try to be conscious of in my consumption.
That's fair.
Yes, little things like that do sort of add up. So,
I get that.
I'm not going to boycott anything.
I get, especially because it's like a cartoon and you can make it that way, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's like, they did that on purpose. But I think, like, in terms of real life stuff, I think it's perfectly okay if someone is wearing, like, more scantily clad clothing and kicking ass, because I think you can be both at the same time. You can be hot as tits and kick ass.
I think so. I don't know. It's just not how I...
But, like, cartoon is different because it's like, okay, well, like, you're purposely... Like, you can still do that, but I just feel like it's clearly for the male gaze, and I'm not talking about GAYS.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and if you created a whole new character who was the titty sister, that wouldn't bother me the same way. It's whenever you take a character who's not that and then make them that it's sort of...
Yeah.
If we had Boob Woman showing up, it would be like Boobarella or something, because it's made to...
Cinderella, but Boobarella.
The magical boobs of iron that can, Ram Man, basically, but boobs instead of a ram head. Like, that would be cool. I would be okay with that. But, like, I don't know. It's just weird to, like, gloss up a character but include part of that extra boobage. Because obviously if she gets Green Goddess powers, she's getting a significant power up. And it's like how Jean Grey got Phoenix powers and suddenly had to be evil. Because women with too much power are corrupted and become evil. Dark Willow, Josh Whedon. Although that was I think the repercussions of that story made sense, and I sort of I'm a little bit more forgiving of that one than I might be otherwise. But that was also because the actress playing Willow was pretty good and sold it. So all right.
Okay.
We're about to the 2.5 hour mark, surprisingly.
I finished them, just not the background. Wow, that looks way more pink. It's purple, I swear. Because look at this picture. It's like a purpley gray, which I don't know. It's a hard color to mix. But I'm happy with it.
Let's put have you hold it up and I'll give you the focus on camera.
Yeah, I think Johnny got the furthest.
All right. There we go. There's Johnny. Yep, Johnny got pretty far.
Yeah.
And he's still working on it.
Still
Very
going.
nice.
Going strong.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
he got really
Nice.
far. And Kayla,
Okay.
excellent.
All right, once again, I had to do a lot of color matching.
Yeah, that's really good. Nice job.
Looks good.
Which I tried really hard to make this a different color than her skin, and I swear it looks different in person, but here it looks the
It
same,
looks different
so.
to me.
Okay.
And when you take the picture and stick it up on Instagram, it'll probably be really evident.
Yeah, I hope so. I might do a little more shading just to.
Yeah, just jump in there.
Yeah.
And then that's as far as I got. So, but I don't know. I'm really happy. I'm happy with how Anja looks. And then I just finished Tila's skin, so pretty happy overall. All right.
Nice. Yay.
Just leave it there. All right. Really quick, let's wrap this up because I thank the 15 people who are still here with us. If you haven't hit that like, please do. I don't know where we're at. Let me do that. Oh, we're at 19 likes.
14
so
likes.
everyone knew the assignment and did it. So good job. All right. Thank you, everyone. If you didn't smack the like, do because I don't know. But 19 people smacked that like, so that's good.
Smack
all right.
That subscribe, smack that bell icon. Did I do that?
All right. All right. Let's do the where can we find you, Johnny and Kayla?
I'm gonna make Johnny do this.
Okay.
Oh. Well, you can find me individually. I'll go with my. We're about to start the Sundered Veil season 2 on the Diced Thespians Twitch, and we're going to do a marathon rerun of season 1 up to the premiere of Sundered Veil season 2. So keep an eye out for that on Diced Thespians on Twitch. And then Kayla and I do the Geek the F Out thing over on Geek the F Out on YouTube here.
channel.
Yes,
Kayla does all the socials because if I was in charge of them, nothing would happen.
Usually I say this part. I'm just torturing him right now.
Yes, no, that's fine. Yeah, and tomorrow we'll be doing our Revelation Part 2 stream.
Yes, indeed.
At 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern.
I think I should watch that.
You're gonna be in it, Allison. Yeah, we'll have Allison and Brick again, and then we'll have Factor and Michael from Toy Habits.
Oh my God,
Toy Storysteress might show up. She's currently dealing with some house stuff right now, so we'll see if she shows up. Hopefully she'll show up. And then, yeah, we'll be covering Revolution. Friday, we're going to cover just episode 1, which hopefully freaking Dan Larson's mega stream with Pixel Dan and Griffin Newman, hopefully they'll be done by 7 p.m. Pacific. They're supposed to start at 5. I'm like, of course they're doing it the same night.
I'm sure they will be because my experience with Pixel Dan is his time is precious and he sticks to a schedule usually. So.
Yeah, so hopefully 2 hours will give them enough. I also don't know if they're covering I'm guessing they're covering the whole thing. I don't know. Probably. And then, yeah, we'll be covering episodes 2 and 3 Monday, 7 p.m. And then Friday will be 4 and 5 at 7 p.m. Pacific as well. And yeah, we'll have lots of fun guests, including a little surprise guest for the last one. So
yeah. That's exciting. We love surprises around. No, I don't. I'm a Taurus. I don't like surprises.
Yeah.
No, they're the worst.
It wasn't the person I was planning on, but honestly, I kind of like this better.
Oh my goodness.
I'll just say that.
Alpha Magnus just arrived just as we wrap up. Sorry, sir. But speaking of Alpha Magnus and I are trying to line up a time where I can talk to him about his custom work. So hopefully we'll make that work. And that'll be probably do a live stream where we talk about his work because he does amazing stuff. That's not an official since it's not scheduled. I can't say a specific time. Tomorrow I will have one of my collection of shorts will go live probably at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So check that out at your leisure. On the 24th, which is Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to be doing a live premiere because I have a new video format called Color and Chill that will be debuting. It's 5-minute videos set to music with the intention being you can watch me color and chill. It's for de-stressing.
I was a fan of that one that I watched the other day. It was very peaceful.
Yeah, it's like that, but just one slightly longer in one piece. And I'm doing the He-Man hardback from the 1982 card by Errol McCarthy. So that'll be fun. And then I've got more of the Kenner booklets coming, some strawberry shortcake stuff. And then next Sunday at this time, well, not right now because it's a little late, but 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Adam from Radical Toys will be joining me, and we're going to color Voltron, and it's going to actually be original art that he's drawn. So that's really exciting. And then on July 31st will be the debut of my Castle Grayskull from concept to kid stuff, which is a brief history of Castle Grayskull, and then a dramatic reading of the original kid stuff Castle Grayskull record album by my boyfriend Matt. And I asked him to read it in a bombastic 80s kids record style, and he delivered. I'm going to have a really brief history of Castle Grayskull up through that time to sort of get to where the history is. The goal is over the next year to do a couple Castle Grayskull videos, walking through the various history. So anyway, that's what I've got. And I will be on Geek the F Out tomorrow, so please come watch that. So we can all be the least charismatic crew on YouTube.
Yeah, we have zero chemistry.
Zero chemistry.
No. Zero chemistry.
That was the best comment. I was trying not to
Absolutely none.
All right. So anyway, thank you all for everyone who hung out with us today. I greatly appreciate it.
Smack that like, smack that subscribe, smack that bell icon.
Subscribe if you haven't. If you're one of the people who haven't, smack the like. Please do. It's muchly appreciated. It helps the algorithm.
We give consent to smack that like.
Yeah, that's true. And anyhow, thank you again. Allison Troy, Retro True Princess.
Peace out, Cub Scouts.